Alright, what up guys? So today I'm just going to make this video quick and I'm just going to give my thoughts on vibe coding. So if you don't know what vibe coding is, then Andrej actually made the whole entire tweet. He's actually the one that coined the term vibe coding. So Andrej Karpathy, he co-founded OpenAI, he also worked at Tesla, and he's basically a AI researcher. Alright, this is what he said. He said, there's a new kind of coding I call vibe code, where you fully give in to the vibes, embrace exponentials, and forget that the code even exists. It's possible because the LLMs like Cursor, Composer, Sonnet are getting too good. Also, I just taught the Composer with Super Whisper, so I barely even touched the keyboard. I asked for the dumbest things, like decrease the padding on the sidebar by half, because I'm too lazy to find it. I accept all, always. I don't read the diffs anymore. When I get error messages, I just copy and paste them in with no comment. Usually that fixes it. The code grows beyond my usual comprehension. I'd have to really read through it for a while. Sometimes the LLMs can't fix a bug, so I just work around it or ask for random changes until it goes away. It's not too bad for throwaway weekend projects, but still quite amusing. I'm building a project for a web app, but it's not really coding. I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, copy and paste stuff, and it mostly works. And that has 4.9 million views and 29,000 likes. So basically, to summarize this, all vibe coding is that you use AI. So you use Cursor, which is basically an IDE that uses AI, where you can basically give it a prompt, generate some code, etc. You can use ChatGPT and generate code, build apps, whatever, right? You even have workplate, which I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, that's basically what vibe coding is. So I've actually tried it myself with Replit and also with ChatGPT to help me learn Next.js. So we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about some people that actually done it. So Web Dev Cody, right? He's actually tried this and he has a video titled Vibe Coding Actually Sucks. So he uses Cursor to try and build a 3D game with React. You know, it starts off fine and then after a while it just doesn't work properly. So I can probably give you guys some previews, and if you want to see the full video, then it'll be in the description.
Can you set up an initial React 3 fiber game where I'm a player, I can move around with WASD, and I can jump. Now I'm going to go ahead and just switch this from ask to agent, because, I mean, we don't want to ever have to touch much on the computer, right? We don't want to.
Yep, that's the whole point of vibe coding. You just made the AI, you basically just let go of the keyboard and you made the AI do whatever it wants, okay?
Have to do our job. We want the AI to do the job for us.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, you should actually know how to code too. So let's go ahead and just run this command. You can manually copy this if you want to, and paste it in, or you could just have it run. Now doing what you like, and then the lint errors.
As you can see, it generates the code just like that. Go crazy.
I don't know if I have any more fast credits. Maybe that's why it takes so long. But okay, let me just accept this. I'm so tempted like to look at code when it generates code, but I can tell that it's already kind of like broken, right? All right, so we have a little box here. It's like jump.
But look at that. So normally for something like this, like a project like this, it take a while just to reach this point. But with AI, it literally took seconds. So that's the beauty of vibe coding now with these LLM models at play. So yeah, keep watching for a bit.
Jumping. You can't even see it from the background though. So I think we should probably prompt AI to change the background to be cubes that are like tiled with colors. This is good, but I cannot see any of the materials on the 3D objects. Could you change the plane to be a gradient? Go ahead and give it some big words so it has to think a little bit harder. A gradient, you know? But to be serious, I have found if you give it really specific things, it can do a much better job.
That's true. That's how AI normally works. The more specific the prompt, the better.
If you give it a really generic sentence or like one sentence with no detail, it can struggle as well. So anyway, this looks like it's done. Let's just accept all. And now we have a little bit different. We can kind of see the ground.
Then you just changing. You just went on to ask it for more stuff and eventually just started breaking, I think.
It's even rendering the player anymore.
Look at that, see? So he did something and
game is still
just, as you can see, he can't even speak today. He asked the AI for something and now he just broke the code, right? And that's basically how it went until he reaches around here, thereabouts.
This is the output. The player.
Yeah, somewhere in here.
And it cannot figure out how to get this player to move. So at this point, I'm going to have to cheat and actually care about the code.
So yeah, that's what happens with vibe coding is that as cool as it may be, sometimes the AI isn't perfect and can make mistakes just like a human being. And that's where I think it is very valuable to still know how to code and understand how to code, because like, yeah, you may not want to code, build the app, but still understanding it is important, so that way when it makes a mistake you know how to fix it. All right, next person, starter story build. So starter story, he has a whole entire YouTube channel where he talks to people who build, you know, businesses, entrepreneurship, basically. He has a whole separate YouTube channel. Let me show you right here. Starter story right here. This talks to people who've built their own thing, particularly people who are like solopreneurs, so one person shop. And he decided that he wanted to build his own AI app. So I think it's like an AI thumbnail designer that he got from a tweet. That was the inspiration. And the whole entire time he's been using Cursor, Ruby on Rails, and he hasn't written a single line of code. He just tells AI what he wants and he just gives it to him. And his so far is reach. Look at that.
Pay before I do any sort of generation or something like that. So this is kind of cool. It says it's processing your thumbnails. I'd like this to eventually look like
all of this without him writing a single line of code. He just made Cursor basically do all the work. And that's part of the challenge. I'm sure he probably knows some coding, but that was part of the challenge. It's just he's showing to like interfere with the AI and write one bit of code. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. And you know, I wish him the best. It's a pretty cool idea. It's an AI thumbnail maker. So basically what he does is like, I think you take like a picture of like a drawing. So you draw something, take a picture. Wait, I'm gonna have to show you because it's based on a tweet, but you draw something, you upload a picture, and it makes a thumbnail based on it. Yeah, there it is right here. So this is the tweet, basically. And as you can see, he has, let me full screen. He has the drawing right here, and he made it into a thumbnail. So that was his idea. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, I guess that's where you can get ideas, in Twitter or X. All right, so that's what he's doing right now. And that's another example of vibe coding. And it's to the point where his own is basically a SaaS. Okay. All right, let's talk about me now. So I've been struggling with Next.js, and I decided, you know what, the docs, I can't bother with them. Let me watch YouTube and also use ChatGPT. So it all started last week or so. I need help learning Next.js. I'm really struggling grasping it. And it says, no worries, get a bit of sense, tell me blah, 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 blah. I said everything. I tried to learn Next.js thing and it made me very confused via the docs. Then it just gave me like a summary, phases, you know, the main like features of Next. And he said, all right, let's start now. Set up a project, open it to terminal. You know what I mean? And the idea was like a budget tracker. That's one of the advantages of it, is that it can be very, very useful to learn programming languages and to ask questions. Because before, you know, you have to like go on Google and then like go on Stack Overflow, search through the whole entire internet just to like fix an error. Where now it's copy and paste, right? You have an error, copy the code, tell it to ChatGPT, tell it the error, and it does it for you. All it was just copy, did some things, it just had any errors, so just copy the code. But yeah, basically ChatGPT helped me build this budget tracker up. So as you can see, if I have an issue or an error, just copy and paste it. So let me just show you guys the app. So here it is right here. So let me just start up the development server. There it is. So budget tracker, and keep in mind I barely wrote any code, okay? All of this was from ChatGPT and just learning basically. So I built this with ChatGPT just so I could learn Next.js because I was struggling. So yeah, go to budget page. As you can see, here's the budget tracker. I can enter income, budget limits. So let's say my income is like 8,000. Sorry, let's say it's 8,000. And as you can see, as soon as I type, here's the chart. So this was ChatGPT's idea. I was like, oh, I want a chart, and it just gave me recharts, which is like this package. Budget limits. Say my budget is 2,000. Then there it is. remaining spent, expense name, let's say video, let's say about a PS5 for like, let's say a PS5 500. Add expense, so it gets added right there, and then there we go. Shows how much spent, remaining, and it also shows income versus spending, right? So all this from ChatGPT using TypeScript. I also learned TypeScript because I'm struggling with that as well. Yeah, this is the code. Actually, have it in a repository actually. So if you want to check it out, I might leave that in the description. Yeah, these are different components. One thing I did add though, I did write this: the wrappers, form wrappers, this and that for this component right here. These components. What else? A chart wrapper. Yeah. So I wrote those myself, but majority of it, ChatGPT barely did anything. That's my experience with vibe coding. So yeah, but my first experience with vibe coding, I'm gonna show you guys right now. So all right, so I've used Replit before. This is way before it became known for AI. So one of the projects I've always wanted to build was a password manager. So so I decided, you know what, let me test it out because I heard a lot about Replit, their AI agent, what have you. So I was like, you know what, let me test it out. And all right, so as you can see, when I first used it, this was a couple months ago, 3 months ago, I just wrote create a password manager using React Native for front end and SQL, like for the database. It should allow the user to log in and register an account with an email and password. It should allow the user to also store passwords, the name of the website, email, and some notes. Absolutely. I think even though I said React Native, it couldn't do it, but yeah, it did its best. Let me propose what we'll build. Give me the plan, created server.auth, so I created that file, created all these files, install dependencies, created whatever you one prompt, and this is what it gave. Secure password manager. I actually logged in, but I don't remember it, so let's register. I'm gonna say username is just DSean. Password is gonna be password, and as you can see, it has this feature which I didn't ask for, but it added it. So password 1 2 3 4 5 6. I will just name password. Register. As you can see, it logs it in. Password manager shows the username. There's a logout button right there. So if I log back in, I can just say DSean. Let's say I just say refresh for some reason. I'll just say whatever that is, and random password login gives me an error. I'll be able to do. But if I type in what I did before, yeah, there we go. Your passwords. So another password, click, use this card right here. Let's see, YouTube. Let's see, example. Password is example YouTube, and you can even like show it, and you can copy it, and it gets copied to the clipboard. Category, let's just say it's a social notes. YouTube password, add password. There you go, password added successfully. Pull on password manager. So if you log out again, just log back in. Look at that. So what if we register a new guy? Let's just call this example user, and password is example user. Register. Well, that's the next issue. It's like I have example user, but it gives us alright. So that's one problem though. It should give us it shouldn't give us this, but whatever. But example user though, it shouldn't give me the other part. Alright, so yeah, and then you can also edit it right here. What is it? Oh yeah, it has it hashed. Password doesn't show it properly though. If you copy it, let me see if it works. Nope. Edit. If we copy, it's going to copy the hashing though, so that's a problem. So you see, that's one of the issues with AI. So at that point, you're going to have to like talk to them, tell them the issue. But that's one of the disadvantages, is because you're using AI to just write the code and you're relying on it, whenever there's like an issue, you're basically less likely to like code because you're like AI made it, and having to go through this long code base and understand everything. It's just, you know, basically just feel lazy. So yeah, I delete it. But anyway, like the main purpose of the video is what are my thoughts on vibe coding. So, alright, what are my thoughts on vibe coding? Good for weekend projects. As Andrej says, I can't even speak. As Andrej Karpathy said, it's not too bad for throwaway weekend projects. So yeah, if it's something quick, if it's something fun, then yeah, you can use AI for that. Next thing is also good for learning how to code. So like I showed you with Next.js, I used it to help me learn Next.js, built a project, and now I actually have a better understanding of Next.js. Okay. So next thing is used for writing, boilerplate code, and styling. Yep, I think it's good at styling. I think it's very good at styling. If you saw it with let me pull this up again. If you saw it with, and also in this Replit project, the styling very good, very good. So yeah, as you can see, nice background, emojis. Go to the budget page. Styles it very nice, honestly. I mean, except for this, maybe I could change this up, but yeah, if you're not into styling like me and CSS, you're still trying to learn Tailwind, then ChatGPT is good for that. Okay, so let me write these as like pros. It's like the pros. This is having fun and feeling the vibes. Really, if you just want to have fun with code, build something cool, why not? Then yeah, I think it's also good. Also good for a small project. So basically ties in with good for weekend projects. If it's something small, nothing to deploy, then yeah, do whatever you want. Alright, cons, not good for big projects. So let's say like the password manager, I mean, it did a good job, but still, security could be an issue. It probably doesn't have the proper security. Can't use AI to like deploy it. Maybe I could have worked it, but yeah. So for something big like this, and if it's something that isn't like, let's say like part, so a password manager, the way our AI works is like it basically reads off of data that is already there. So if someone on GitHub, what have you, Stack Overflow, already like written code for like a password manager, it basically clicks all that data, all that code, analyzes it, and basically forms its own knowledge and opinions. That's basically how it's able to build a password manager. But if I wanted to build something more specific, if I wanted to build something like Twitter, Instagram, something, all these APIs, tons of users, then you can't use AI for that. So yeah, next one, main one, prone to make mistakes. That's the big one. Like we saw with this right here, when we're trying to log in, it's giving us this, even though this is not for this user, these sets of passwords. So that's a big issue. When we view it, that doesn't work either. When we copy it, that doesn't work either. When we edit it and try to copy it from there, it gives us the hashed version of the password. So that's a big issue. So yeah, that's a big issue. It makes a ton of errors. Also hard to do for yourself. I guess like in a sense where like because AI built it for you, you're less likely to like go back and read through it and like fix it yourself, especially if you don't know how to code. And especially if it's like maybe you do know how to code, but it's in like a language that you're not used to, so that can be tricky. But yeah, it can make you lazy. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So those are my thoughts on vibe coding. These are the pros, these are the cons. So yeah, shout out to Web Dev Cody, shout out to Story, shout out to ChatGPT, shout out to Replit, shout out to Vercel, shout out to Andrej. Yeah, that's my thoughts on vibe coding. So be sure to leave a like and peace out.